Welcome to Geeks Corner. I'm Mr. DAPs.
I'm Katie.
And this is Tiana.
Lil T.
This is my sister's dog that's been here for a very long time. And she's being a little clingy tonight. So she followed around and
she got a haircut.
Welcome. Yeah, she's traumatized by the haircut, apparently. So,
I'm so sorry.
Don't forget the bath. She got a bath.
She got
too.
a bath.
Yes, there you go.
I'm so sorry.
Yes.
T.
So you might hear her. You might not. We will see.
She does make a lot of noise.
She's an interesting. She like makes grunts and stuff. Like she's very
a Muppet.
She's very Muppety. I would actually say she's very much like Gonzo.
Oh, she's Gonzo.
Yes.
Like she's the one that would go to the moon.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. She would and be like, oh, okay. Like she'd
be friends with chickens.
Well, and she dives headfirst into things and she's like, oh, okay, I'm gonna do this. That's a pond. I'm gonna look at the fish until I fall in. It's fine.
I was gonna say she doesn't want to eat the fish.
She just wants to look at them.
She just wants to look at them.
Yes. But
yeah.
T. Anyway,
she's my friend.
What should people do, Katie?
Just go to geekscorner.live and tell us how cute you think Tiana is. Also, make your guesses about how old she is, because I guarantee you none of you will get it right.
Well, now they might.
I don't think they'll get it right.
Oh, okay. There we go. Also, if you've got any Disney trips coming up, make sure to stop by Mouseways Travel and have them book them for you. It's a free service. They take care of the details so that you can just take care of having fun. And you can do that at mouseways.com/dapsmagic. All right. It is a big night tonight. It didn't look like it 24 hours ago, but
this morning things just started rolling out, and
which often happens. It's a good thing Geeks Corner is on Tuesdays, because I feel like it's always a big news day.
Tuesday news
and
day.
I was actually texting a friend yesterday. I'm like, tomorrow's gonna be the day. And what I meant by that is like, either we're gonna get an announcement about Bob Chapek getting an extension of his contract, or there's not going to be one this week, in which case it could be never or months. I had a feeling there was going to be some sort of an extension, but we learned today that indeed there is an extension for CEO of the Walt Disney Company, Bob Chapek, and that extension is for 3 years, which puts him as CEO of the Walt Disney Company through 2025 now. What do you think about this?
Good for Bob Chapek, honestly. No, I mean, seriously.
Congratulations. Yes.
Congratulations.
Absolutely.
I'm also going back.
Launching a new ship, getting an extension of your contract. Very good.
Yeah. Go grab the champagne and break it on the ship. But it was just so funny, the things that I have like read this week. There was somebody last night in Epcot who ran into Josh D'Amaro and Bob Chapek. And all she had to say was lovely things about how Bob Chapek was so invested in the conversation and was so involved basically in everything that she had to say, and other things about how Bob Chapek has done a lot for Disney cast members and employees and all of those things. And I think that I truly believe this, and maybe you can all say whatever you want about
comments.
No, I
don't even know where you're going.
I think that he's truly a very good-hearted man. I just don't think that he knows how to express it in a public way.
That's possible. I don't know, like one way or the other. I think as everybody does, he has his pros and his cons. The pros being as he knows how to make decisions based off facts.
Yeah.
I think he's done a very good job with Disney Plus. Sometimes I haven't liked the decisions. In fact, quite a few times I haven't liked the decisions, like not having Luca and Soul, and like some of these really beautiful movies go to the big screen. But on the flip side, as we look at how Lightyear has been performing, maybe he's got some smarts going on there, because in Encanto, like you think of Encanto did fine in theaters, but then when it got to Disney Plus, that's really where it took off. And
I think there's something to be said there about they kind of built an expectation from brand awareness of, oh yeah, these are going to be on Disney Plus. And now, especially, we're kind of in another spike.
Well, and you do have to wonder if that's what's hurting Lightyear, is they're like, oh, I'll just wait for it to get on Disney Plus.
Yeah.
In, what is it, 45 days or whatever?
Between that and the current spike we're in, there's a lot of families. And it's kind of the same thing that happened with Encanto. We were in a spike when that was in theaters. People didn't want to go out and see it. And they weren't comfortable with it. Then it came to home and they were like, cool, we can put this on
safe.
repeat.
This is comfortable. Yeah.
It's a new movie my kids haven't seen before. Yeah. And it was a hit because it made it more accessible. And I think there was that aspect of kind of making the brand something for home entertainment. It'd be, here's a great, remember the all direct to VHS like sequels
Oh, you mean the ones that came from current or then president of I think it was Buena Vista or whatever, Bob Chapek?
Mhm.
Yeah, I remember those.
Mhm.
Yeah.
But it's the same thing where if you had put The Little Mermaid 2 into theaters, everyone would have been confused. So like, no, this is supposed to go to VHS.
Yeah.
They wouldn't have gone to theaters to see it.
Yes.
Those were direct to home release. Anyway.
It is interesting
it.
because Bob Chapek was a part of those, and I think there were some wins and losses with those. And I think we could say that in general for most of the last 2 years that he's been CEO.
Mhm.
And I think to be fair, he's had some things he's done right. He's also had some misses and some missteps. And I think my biggest, criticism, probably justly, of this is he's not diplomatic in terms of what is the perception of the public.
Yeah.
And he might be a fantastic guy. I haven't gotten to meet him, so I don't know. I would love to interview you, Mr.
Manifesting.
Chapek. Yes, I would. Andreas Deja last week. You never know. Sky's the limit. But no, I would love to have an honest, very, just tell me about your Disney history, your love of Disney, what Disney, like nothing deep, just let's get to know you, because I really feel like we haven't gotten to know him as a person. Like what is he like? Is he a father? Like, I think I remember reading somewhere he is, but we just don't know.
This is I don't want to sit here and brag about how well Mr. DAPs interviews people. You guys already know that. But I go back to when we had Brett Iwan on Geeks Corner, and we have previously had Brett Iwan on DAPs Cast. May it rest in peace. And he told the whole story about how he became Mickey Mouse. And here it was just a fun story of like, what do you like on your pizza? What do you do for fun?
Yep.
All the things that Brett was very excited to talk about, because obviously there's always the stories of like, here's why I went to Disney. Here's how.
And that's what I'd like to do, is just a no agenda. Hey, what are you passionate about? Tell me what excites you. Because I just think we'd all, if we got to know him better, we might understand the decisions that are being made a little bit better. And maybe it would make more sense. Like, I don't think they've done a great job of articulating what's great about the Disneyland app and reservations.
I agree.
I will say on the flip side, I got a reservation to go to Disneyland today. I went in, saw the flag retreat with the All-American College Band. And you know what? The middle of June, and I'm betting through the next month, it's looking pretty good for having the highest level magic key. And so I think there are some perks and some great things that we've seen. And perhaps part of it is we just don't know the why behind some of the decisions that are being made. And if those were communicated more clearly, we might be like, oh, this is why I'm okay with this. Or maybe this is why, and I'm not okay with this. And that's okay. I just feel like we're not getting a complete picture, or we're not getting the same picture necessarily that the board is seeing when they unanimously re-up him for 3 years. And since that announcement came out today, I've definitely been thinking, I'm like, all right, so you have this very vocal group of people that definitely are not a fan of Mr. Chapek. You've got clearly another group that's maybe not as vocal that clearly are a fan of Bob Chapek, because they're following his leadership. Tiana just did something, but they're re-upping his contract. There's not a bunch of stockholders saying, hey, let's get rid of Chapek. There's a few, but nothing like Save Disney 15 years ago, 16 years ago, whatever that was. And
that was that not 20 years ago?
Maybe.
I thought it was 2002.
You're probably right. But it's interesting to watch this play out. And this might not be the most popular opinion, but I do have to, like, as I was sitting there, I'm like, well, they rehired the guy for a reason. Like, what's next? Where is this going? What is the vision for this? And so it'll be really interesting to see. And I think that's 20 years ago. Thank you, Clocky. I think that's the thing I would like to see as we're moving forward, is we've seen him get the company through and survive in one piece a pandemic. So he gets a hat tip for that. Disney Plus is ahead of projections from when they launched it. So something right is going there. I really enjoy Josh D'Amaro. Like, I've had really good experiences talking with him. He's put him in front of or in charge of Disney Parks Experiences and Products. Great. We have a lot of good movies that we've enjoyed coming, like, that have come out in the last couple of years, whether it's Pixar, whether it's Encanto, so animation studios, whether it's Marvel, Star Wars, we just got Obi-Wan Kenobi. So clearly something is happening even on the creative realm, because we got The Mandalorian, which we could say Bob Iger greenlit that. That's fine. But Obi-Wan Kenobi was sooner than that, or more recent. And we've had all of these different Marvel shows that continue to be really good. And so I think the big miss that we often see is the prices are going up. Prices are going up everywhere. Like milk and eggs are more expensive now. Gas is way more expensive now. That's not just Disney. We're seeing the reservations thing. I think that's a fair criticism. On the flip side, I think there's also a balance that comes with that. That's kind of an interesting thing of not having the yo-yo effect of like really busy to not busy at all. And I think a lot of us annual pass holders previously and now Magic Key holders really liked that not busy at all, but it also doesn't make Disney a lot of money. And it is a for-profit organization. So I do have to be like, okay, me selfishly miss that. But today, even though it was 90 something degrees, it was nice to be a little bit empty, like it was. And Sunday was very empty too. It was great. And maybe all of those old downtimes are now just crammed into 6 weeks from the mid-June through the end of July.
Well, and something that I have noticed actually more, and it's actually very interesting to me, is that there are all these people that now cannot get reservations because their passes are blocked out or what have you. Downtown Disney is slammed.
Yeah, that's true.
People come to Downtown Disney and they have like their birthday buttons because this is the place they're celebrating their birthday.
Well, and that's what we did before the parks were open.
Yeah. But they can't get to the parks. So now it's they're celebrating at Downtown Disney. And I mean, there's a decent amount to do. Like you can shop, you can eat lunch, you can eat dinner, you can but Tiana, please go away. You're very slobbery. But
she didn't hear you.
But it's fine. She doesn't listen very well. But I think that's also a very interesting impact is that Downtown Disney,
it balances out the resort.
Yeah.
Well, and it is really interesting too, because I do think there's things that I personally am like, I like the old way better. And that's just being honest. Like I liked being able to walk in at any given moment. And I liked not have, like, I almost forgot to get a reservation today. I'm like, oh yeah, I'm going to go in and film the college band. And then at like 10 this morning, I was like, oh, I should probably get a reservation.
We're so used to college band season being like, oh, let's just jump in real quick.
And then on the flip side, though, I do remember when there was a very real threat of Comcast purchasing Disney and splitting it up. And that to me is the worst case of everything. And I don't know what the future is going to be like, but he hasn't gotten us to that yet. And he may never. Like, I actually think that when you look at the numbers the way they are, on the flip side, what I think could be better is I would like to see a little bit more hospitality focus. Like, I think there's really good, like, hey, these are the perks we're giving you, like physical perks, physical time, like a lot of spreadsheet stuff looks really good. I do think that the hospitality portion of approach of like, and part of that's just the communication of what we're doing could be probably better. And it's only been 6 months since Bob Iger officially retired.
Yeah, 6 months.
So we're really starting to get to know what Bob Chapek, the leader, is going to look like on his own. So it'll be really interesting to see how that plays out. And as he builds his own team, and which seems like he's getting there and whatever. So I would say the jury's out.
Yeah.
But Disney's still Disney.
Yes. And I will say, just to move on from this topic, because we've been talking for 15 minutes.
Good for us.
I'm not going to talk about spoilers, but you brought up Kenobi. That finale was so good.
It was really good.
And I very much hope they don't give a season 2. This actually isn't on our agenda. I'm going a little crazy. But I really hope we don't get a season 2 of Kenobi because I think it wrapped up beautifully.
And I do want a season 2 of Kenobi.
Really?
Yes, because the guy who wrote the first screenplay for when it was going to be a trilogy of movies talked about the different phases of where Obi-Wan Kenobi needs to go to where he ends up in A New Hope. And I think there's room for storytelling there.
I loved it.
I don't want him to mess it up. But
yeah, I loved it. I thought it was perfect. My Twitter is not spoiler free, so be careful if you have not watched it. I was so blown away by that series.
Yeah, there was going to be a Kenobi movie at one point, Clocky, and it got turned into a series, just as Boba Fett did as well.
It was called Kenobi.
There you go.
Subline. Hello there.
Hello there. In every season. All right, we're going to move right along. Harmonious Live came out. Actually, it was a week ago tonight. And we didn't get a chance to talk about it because we hadn't seen it yet due to we were following the opening day of the Disneyland Resort All-American College Band, which we continue to post more videos of, and we'll have more up by the end of the week. But don't miss any of those. But Harmonious Live was a very pleasant surprise because I was kind of expecting a regurgitation of the live Harmonious from a year. Was it a year and a half ago? Almost 2 years ago now.
Gosh.
And I was like, okay, I feel like I've seen this. I've been there, done that. And honestly, within a few minutes of it starting, I was like, oh, this is different. I'm engaged. And then as you watched it, it's really not harmonious. It's the entertainment of
I was gonna say, if you've never seen Harmonious before, I would not recommend this as your first watch into it.
See, and I would say the exact opposite. If you've never seen Harmonious before, tonight. Yeah, that's good. If you
better for television.
My first thought after seeing this was, I wish this is what they'd shown a year and a half ago instead of just the live stream of it, because I feel like it really opened up the cultural component that wasn't communicated quite as well. Communication again. Maybe they should hire me to do communication, corporate communications. Be like, hey, here's a story, because Disney's a story company.
Here's a story.
Yeah, of a man named Chapek.
Of a man named Chapek. That's what I was doing.
But no, I loved the different cultures you saw, the different people, the different personalities. Like, there's so many different performance personalities. And then what's it, Ali? I can't always say. I never can say her name.
Ali.
Alihi?
It's close.
Say it again.
Ali.
Ali?
Sure.
Okay.
You're not close, but that's fine.
I'm trying.
You are.
Anyway, I thought she was fantastic in narration, and I thought it provided so much context to the show that it was just so enjoyable.
She's very poised. She carries herself incredibly well. It was something that I thought was very funny because Idina Menzel originated Role of Elphaba on Broadway, did it for many years.
She's done everything. She was in
Elsa,
Rent. She was in Frozen.
She was in Rent.
Yeah.
All these things. She was nervous and shaking like a leaf.
Yeah.
And then you have this 18 or 19-year-old girl come along, and she's so calm and poised.
She gave me Julie Andrews vibes.
Very much.
Very just
regal.
Yeah. Royal. Yeah, you're right. And I really enjoyed it. I loved seeing the different instruments, the different singers. It really wasn't as much about fireworks and projections as much about the people. Speaking of fireworks, I could not have, I don't know if you heard that, but a firework just went out.
Rather funny.
That was awesome. Very funny. But no, I thought it was a fantastic showcase of what was behind the show. And the show ended up being behind the entertainers, which was great.
Well, and I think that, like you've said, they highlighted the cultural aspect of Harmonious so well.
Yeah.
And that's what's always drawn myself to Harmonious is the cultural aspect of it, and getting to hear so many guests from around the world get excited when they see their culture represented. And so to see truly and physically these cultures be represented from people around the world and singing in their language, it was gorgeous. And I really, really loved it. And I also love that it is now on demand on Disney Plus, that we can just watch it whenever we want.
And I've already watched it a couple times. Like, I really enjoyed it. And I enjoyed Harmonious in the first place, but I do think it's interesting because I think if I were in charge, I would play I would somehow, I'm trying to think how you do this. I would lean into the cultural component and back away from the animated component, because I loved the connection of hearing, these different cultures sing these different Disney songs, and the music carried the whole thing, and the fireworks were just, I don't know, frosting. And there's a couple moments where you're like, hey, that's nice animation. But I don't know. I don't know if you need the giant tacos.
I wish there was a mechanism that they were not visible in the daytime.
Honestly, though, imagine that show, but with the World of Color technology. And I think, to me, that's if I were in charge, armchair Imagineering. That's what I would have done or would do, is be like, hey, you know what? Let's not disrupt the view during the day, and instead have either, you know, water rays or a platform raise, and use water screens work really well. And
the technology now, because I was gonna say when World of Color debuted 11 years ago, is that what it was?
Something like that.
10 years ago. Was it 2011?
I thought it was 20. Yeah, it was before. It might have been 2010.
2.0.
Yeah.
Anyway,
11 or 12
water
years ago.
screens weren't amazing when World of Color debuted. It was good.
They still blew our mind though.
They did. But now they're very clean. They're very crisp. You can tell what's going on.
Look at Phantasmic now.
Yeah, exactly. That's kind of what I was thinking, is because I haven't seen World of Color since it came back. It's fine. I'm not crying. But they do it so well that, to me, something like, what do you call it? The circle. Stargate. Things like that. I was like, you call it something.
Yes.
Things like that are now inexcusable. And I think that, to be completely fair, most people only hate Harmonious because of those. If those weren't there, I think people would go,
well, it's why I filmed you walking into World, you know, like, or like, hey, we're walking into World Showcase. Let's film Katie seeing these for the first time, because it's jarring and it's shocking. And
it takes away a lot of your World Showcase experience.
Yeah.
Because you can't go anywhere without seeing them.
But I would love to see the show without them and see the difference. I think the one difference I might make is actually the Stargate. Like, keep the Stargate, get rid of everything else.
Really?
Maybe. I'm not completely.
Okay.
But yeah, I would love to see fireworks, projections, and that be that for that. Another water body that got a change this week was the Submarine Lagoon at Disneyland, where Hank, what is it? The septopus?
Yeah.
Yes. Is now found underneath the monorail. And I went in and saw him in person today, and he's pretty adorable.
Yeah.
And what do you think of this addition to the submarine?
I think it's cute, honestly. I like Hank. Finding Dory was not the best Pixar movie to ever happen. But I think that Hank is a very likable character. Also, Hank exists in Turtle Talk with Crush. So I think to have that
cool if he just disappeared.
That's kind of what I was thinking. So I had a couple questions because I've only seen brief video. He's a static figure? Yes. Okay. Yes. So he's a static figure. And did he replace the seagulls, or are the seagulls still there?
No, seagulls are still there.
Okay.
And he's over on the other half of the lagoon towards the back more. So it's kind of like just before the submarines go under the monorail.
Yes. So I will say the other thing is that I don't love Finding Nemo Submarine Voyage. It's not my favorite attraction. It's very tight. It's very warm. It's so sweaty. It's not it's also long. It's just not my favorite thing. Okay.
It's so
I'm
good.
sorry. It's not my favorite thing.
I like it.
But I love the aesthetics of the attraction. I love how beautiful the water is. I love how calm.
I love how it feels like you're actually going deep under the sea.
Yeah. Well, I was saying, like, when you stand back and just watch
the
attraction.
Got it.
And I think that Hank, especially when they have that nighttime colors they kind of put up in the water, he complements all of that color palette very nicely.
It will be interesting to see what he looks like and how he's lit at night, because I haven't seen that yet. Maybe I'll look on Sunday. But yeah, I'm excited for the addition. I like the whole thing looks beautiful and clean and pristine and vibrant. So it'll be fun to go back on that attraction in July. I think the 25th off the top of my head. But we will definitely have video of that up as quickly as we possibly can.
Yes, it is still better than the Good Dinosaur and Cars 2, but stick around for Geeks Corner Plus to find out where Cars 2 is on my Pixar ranking, because it's higher than you expect it to be.
I would say Cars 2 is better.
Than Finding Dory?
Yeah.
We're going to talk about this during Geeks Corner Plus. Stay tuned.
All right. There is a train coming back to the Walt Disney World Resort, and there is one that's not arriving at all. If you've been following the progress of the Tron Light Cycle, you've been seeing that the train track and tunnel is going in, and it looks like there might be a train coming back soon, which I think is great because that's one of my favorite things at Magic Kingdom.
I've never done the Grand Circle
What
tour.
is not happening, though, is the Brightline Railway is not coming to Disney Springs. It is instead going over to basically where Epic Universe is going to be on, what is it?
I-4?
International Drive.
Oh, International
Drive. And that was announced this week. What do you think about basically Universal getting a train and Walt Disney World not?
Sounds like Ooh, sorry, this is a very Disney-centric show. I'm going to say it anyway. Sounds like Universal fought harder for it, to be completely honest.
They are giving 13 acres of land for a
Yes.
station.
It sounds like that's something that Disney either was not able to do or was not willing to do. It sounds less about Disney canceling it and Disney just saying, you know what, the cons are now outweighing the pros.
I don't think
for
Disney
us.
canceled it. They just recognized that it wasn't happening.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
I think that it was just things started to outweigh each other. But I will say, great for Universal. The bummer here is now there is no Magical Express and there is no train.
And I totally do think that is the bummer. I think the win of this, though, is I feel like competition always breeds innovation. And so I do think with you've got Epic Universe coming, you've got this train thing coming, and I do think as Universal continues to push things there, we're going to get some really cool stuff at Walt Disney World.
I agree.
And in the past, when Universal has pushed things there, it has led to good things at Walt Disney World as well. So I'm excited to see what Disney comes up with, and I hope we hear some of it at D23 Expo. Well, I think that'll be a lot of fun.
And I'm just a theme park enthusiast. Like I really enjoy theme parks. I mean, I worked at one for 2 years. Like that's how much I love theme and amusement parks. So anything that gets the guest a better experience, I'm like,
which competition does.
Yeah, I think it's very exciting. And I don't want any one enterprise to have a monopoly on the theme park industry. So I think it's really cool, and I think that we are only going to benefit from
I hope so. And I would like to see easier ways for the guests to get to Walt Disney World, because I do think that's a challenge, but we do have the minivans coming back. I think the real challenge is going to be, and this isn't Universal, Disney, anybody else, it's the whole industry right now, is with the way everything is more expensive, and like it's just harder to go places now. I was up in the Bay Area last week, and everywhere I went, I noticed that other times I've been there at not peak times, there's been more tourists.
Yeah.
And it really surprised me, whether it was San Francisco, Santa Cruz, now Disneyland, it does feel like there's fewer tourists out and about. And so when you're making it harder to get into places like Walt Disney World or whatever, I do think anything you can do to lower that entry bar is probably a win. So it'll be interesting to see if there's some more solutions that come in the near future. All right, final story. Hocus Pocus 2. There is a new trailer. There's the only trailer, actually. But it was released this morning. We have both seen it. Katie, what do you think of Hocus Pocus 2, judging by this trailer?
I think it looks really fun. Honestly, and how long has it been since Hocus Pocus came out?
29 years.
29 years.
I think that's what I read.
The Sanderson sisters all look amazing.
Yeah, I was very impressed.
Yeah.
I was like, wow.
They look incredible.
And sound.
They look and sound very good. This is one of those things where I don't want to be morbid, but I'm glad that they got this reunion together before anyone passed away.
Yeah, because you can't replace any of them.
No. It would not have been the same if it was only 2 of 3 or what have you. So
well, and I like that it has the right feel. Like it feels like a continuation of the original, which I feel like Disney and some other people have done really well lately. And but it felt right. It was a little bit self-referential. And it's acknowledging what happened in the past and moving it forward. And it's not like a wink, wink, nod, nod. It's just a, hey, this is here. You're either going to get it or you're not. We're going to keep this moving, which I thought was a lot of fun. I'm curious if there will be musical components, because it already seems to imply that there might be, just with the one line in the trailer. And I hope there is. I want a new, I don't know what the song would be, and maybe it's they sing I Put a Spell on You again. I don't know. Yeah, maybe that's it. But
I will say I'm just a spooky little Halloween girl, and Halloween is my favorite holiday. It doesn't help that I'm a fall baby, so my birthday's in October. So Halloween to me means my birthday. But I just love Halloween things. I love spooky things. I love macabre, all of those things. And so this is just, it's hitting all the right notes for me. So I'm excited.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it. September 30th, Disney Plus. Maybe it'll even be a DAPs watch, and we'll get to watch it together, because that can be kind of fun.
We'll light a candle.
That's always a good idea. No, but it felt right.
Yeah,
everything felt right, and that's a great compliment for that, I think. It is now Geeks Corner Plus, however, so we are going to move in and start looking at the comments a little bit more in depth.
I'm pulling up my Pixar list.
Pull up your Pixar list as we get going. This I do not have a Pixar list, so Katie will just have to do that for us. Clocky is saying that you should do the train tour at Magic Kingdom. It's highly recommended. That is something I have always wanted to do. In fact, I think if I could have like one thing I've never done at Walt Disney World to do, that would probably be pretty far up there. All right. So do you want to talk about Pixar? And otherwise I'll keep talking about trains.
Sure. And I will say I've never done the Grand Circle tour at Magic Kingdom. The most I got, what is it? The Fantasyland Depot?
Yeah, we walked up to it.
No. We got off at the Fantasyland Depot because that was the night that it was 30 degrees.
Oh, yeah, that's right. Yeah.
We had to go buy a jacket.
But they also do the train where you get to go backstage. And
yeah. I was just saying that was the most that
got it.
I was okay. So anyway.
Yes.
So my bottom Pixar movie is The Good Dinosaur.
Okay. I think that's fair.
Yeah. The second from the bottom, and Ruffle Some Feathers, Toy Story 4.
That's also fair.
And then it's Cars 2.
And then what?
Brave.
Okay.
And then it's A Bug's Life.
See, I put A Bug's Life next, I think.
And then it's Finding Dory.
I do Bug's Life, then Finding Dory, then Brave.
And then continuing to work my way up. I have Monsters. This is a little bit old, so I am missing some things, so bear with me.
Maybe we should save this and do this on a full show.
Yeah.
All right. So go to your top 5.
So my top 5, my number 1 is Up, unsurprisingly. My number 2 is Coco. My number 3 is Ratatouille. My 4 is Monsters, Inc. And 5 is Inside Out.
Those are good choices. Yeah. All right. So we'll come up with a list for both of us, and we'll talk about that on a future show. I see Bailey said that Kenobi's over. It's Andor time, baby. I agree. And at Star Wars Celebration, we were able to get these awesome posters of Andor. I believe. And there's still one
in my car for you, Bailey. I love you.
Yes.
Today I killed a cockroach that was trying to get on that poster.
Yes.
It was in my car for some reason. Anyway, I'm scared.
Clocky says the first Save Disney campaign was 1984. Correct. Second Save Disney was 2003, 2005. And both all by Roy Disney, if I recall correctly. And I see new comments coming in. Don't forget Wally.
Wally is my number 6.
Oh, so you are close to the top.
Yes,
that makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, so it's very funny. It's so funny. I've never been able to find the link ever again, but I want to say right at the start of the pandemic, there was this this or that generator type thing. And so you picked for Pixar movies, which one would you rather watch? So it'd be like, would you rather watch Toy Story 4?
Oh, so it helped you get your...
Up? And then at the end, it, based on your answers, generated a list.
We need to find that.
I've never been able to find it again.
If you know where it is, let us know and we'll do that. And that would be... That'd be very helpful.
It was so nice. And I was like, oh, you know what? I would rather watch The Incredibles over whatever movie.
Oh, okay. I was waiting to hear what it was. I was intrigued. All right. Very cool. Other cool thing that happened.
Great America.
I do think that might have to happen at some point. Cloggy and I were texting the other night when we found out that Great America is closing in the next 11 years. I'm going to bet it's the next 5 or 6 years if I had to make a guess, but that should probably happen sooner rather than later. We do have a PO box. You can find it on the website if you want to send anything. If you were to look above us, you would see we have postcards from Clocky all over, which always is fun to look at as we're getting ready for the show. There and all the way across over there too.
Right there.
And yes, and
that's fun.
It is fun. Katie, what should people do?
Go to dapsmagic.com, check out all the Disney and geek news as it happens. Not only should you support your local post office, you should support your local Daps Magic and find us on Patreon.
That is true. And if you go to Patreon right now, you can see the interview I did with Disney legend Andreas Deja. That is up there. And we will have it out in the next few days along with an article. And
I looked at Tiana.
Oh, okay. I don't know where she is, but I believe you. But that interview is up there. It was a great time, and I'll have an article up on that in the next few days as well. Oh, now I see her. That's funny. And but she is a weird dog. Remember I said Gonzo? That's the thing. We'll put that on the Geeks Corner.
Of course she stopped.
Oh, she stopped. There, she's doing it again. There you go. There you go. We're gonna put that on Patreon. Find out what Tiana was doing on our Patreon later tonight. Anyway, that is all the time that we have for you this week. So we will see you around the corner.
Bye.